All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutation and much love to Ya'akim out there pushing out his word in truth and sincerity. This is the brother Osh for another lesson. Lord's will is edifying to the hopeful elect. Pretty well. Let me just start with the scripture, 1 John 2 and verse 19. It says, they went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. So there's men that call themselves Israelites, all right, that know the names of the Lord, that may even be amongst you as we speak, that ultimately the Lord's going to reject them and cast them away. All right, because you have to be a true doer of the word, okay? Not just lip service, going out there and screaming at people. You have to wholeheartedly follow after Yahweh Shai, as he followed after his father, our father, Yahweh. All right, so when this time comes, that let me just get the account. This is what the Lord's going to be saying to those that, going to try to call upon his name when they find themselves in they find themselves in trouble. But what the Lord knows, the inward parts. The Lord knows that they're not sincere. This is Matthew 7, and I started 18. It says, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So that's what the Lord's going to do with these guys that aren't bringing forth good fruit. The Lord's going to hew you down and cast you into the fire. It says, wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. All right, and that's why you have to be doers of the word, like James chapter 1 verse 22. Be ye doers of the word, not hearers only. All right, wish I can get that real quick in my book. Just real quick, this is the book of James, which is one of the brothers of Yahweh Shai. Okay, it's like it. James 1 and 22. It says, like it. But be ye doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. That was the point, though. You got to be doers of the word. All right, because that's what's going to show you forth your fruit. All right, in that same James, it says, show me thy, or I think it's in chapter 2. It says, show me thy works without faith. I'll show you my faith by my works. So you got guys that they're not fully following after the ways of the Lord. They're trying to come up their own way. They're trying to have the truth fit around their schedule, when you should be fit. You should be molding yourself around this word. Okay, after Yahweh Shai. Verse 21 says, Matthew 7 and 21, not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, right, Yahweh Shai, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Yeah, there's a mission. There's a task at hand, and it's given from Yahweh unto his son Yahweh Shai, and then given unto the rest of the men that will come and believe. Okay, so you have to come accordingly. And just because you know the names of the Lord doesn't guarantee you salvation. That's the last thing you want to hear when you hear this. You call upon the name of the Lord, and he rejects you. But let me keep reading. Verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Yeah, they might have gone. They might go out there and teach. It says, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works. Yeah, they were out there, right, claiming to know the names of the Lord and teaching and healing. Because ultimately the Lord sent us out to heal the people, and the beginning of healing is through this word. Verse 23, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Yeah, because they were willingly going off, right? Doing things how they want to do. But you can't do that. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 19. It says, what no, that's not it. I'll get that one later. I think it's John. Let's see here. Okay, John 15 and 22, it says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. All right, and so you know what to do. You know what you can and can't do once you hear this word. So let's get that word iniquity, because that's what they're willingly being ignorant of the commandments. Because the Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep, right? He also said, if you love me, do the commandments, roughly paraphrase. Let me get that. I think it's in John. Love me, commandments. Yeah, John 14 and 15. It says, if you love me, keep my commandments. And what were some of the things that the Lord commanded? All right, well, the protocol, all right, the way to the kingdom of heaven. And if you want to come up another way, then you're not you're not loving the Lord at the end of the day. And that's what some of the guys that are going to be rejected on that day. But let's get this word here, John or Matt, iniquity for iniquity. It was verse 23. Where there's anomia, it says the condition of without law, because ignorant of it. Well, you're not ignorant anymore, because like we just read in John 14, that if he had not come, you would have no cloak. But since he did come, now you're being ignorant, like now you're willingly being ignorant. It says because ignorant of it, because of violating it. So you purposely are violating the commandments. Again, we know that you can't keep the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, but you can try. All right, you can obey the Lord and do what He said to do. All right, and come up the way that He said to come up. All right, because if you're not coming through the gate, the sheep gate, you coming up another way, you're a thief and a robber, a murderer. You trying to come in another way. That's not how it goes. The Lord sent down His Son Yahushua to show us the way, show us the path that's supposed to be followed. It says contempt and violation of law, iniquity, wickedness, and what's the law of faith now? And some guys, they're not following that law; they're violating it, and that's why the Lord's going to tell them. What was it? Go back to Matthew, Salakia. Matthew 7. He said, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Let's read that in the NLT. It says Matthew 7 and 23. But I will reply, I never knew you. Get away from me, you who break God's laws. And again, there's a lot of men that are around us that aren't really of us. They're doing their own thing. They, just following the truth according to their own accord. But that time's coming to an end, and when they're not going to be of us, part of us anymore. But they're going to still try to, call upon the names of the Lord. It ain't going to happen though. It ain't going to work, because the Lord's going to tell you to depart from Him. John 15. Back in John 15, started 10. John 15 and 10. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in His love. So, so the Lord was keeping the commandments that was given unto Him from the Heavenly Father. And that's showed the love that He had for Him. Just like we've been commanded to do things, make our call and election sure, everything that's revolves around this ministry, and also trying to keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability. Not sin, abhorring sin, not just being, do whatever you want to do. That's not showing the Lord you love him. It says, these things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. There you go, man. So, the Lord, he said, here hangeth all the law, love the Most High and love your brother. These are commandments that we ought to keep. And if you're not, then guess what? You're considered you're going to be called out as a iniquity. Depart me that work iniquity. That's what he's going to be told unto you. It says, greater love have no man than this, that if a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. All right. And again, there's a lot of guys that aren't doing that. They're calling themselves Israelites. Shalom, shalom. But deep down inside, they have alternative, motives. Henceforth, I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Yeah, and those are the ones that are going to be found faithful. All right, the ones that will continue to serve the Lord. All right, no matter how they feel about it, as long as you're following what the commandments were given unto you. Okay, the Lord is looking for faith, men that will, have no issue with obeying. All right, go to Matthew chapter 5. Go back to that now. Matthew 5:19. It says, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men, so he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Yeah, so you got to, tell the people what it is. You can't be breaking the commandments. All right, you can't just be doing whatever you want in this ministry. It says, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And if you're teaching otherwise, you're teaching people to break the laws, well, then what's the Lord going to call you? You worker of iniquity. And then Luke, also in the book of Luke, it mentions it as well. That's different. 27. It says, but well, let me read up at 24. It says, strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. Yeah, because they're not of us. Like we started off the lesson with, if they were of us, they would no doubt continue with us. They were trying to get into the kingdom, or trying to go through that straight gate, but then they quickly realized that this wasn't for them. Or they just linger around, okay, and do their own thing. Make up their own doctrines and, start butchering it. It says, verse 25, when once the master of the house is risen up and has shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence ye are. Then shall ye begin to say, we have eaten and drunk in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not whence ye are. Depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity. That's going to be some tough words to hear from the Lord, man. He's going to cast you out, leave you out there, all right, to suffer the consequences of your iniquity, of your incredulity, because that's what it is. Ultimately, you truly don't believe. These guys don't really believe, man. They're just in this for the gimmicks or whatever alternative motive they have, but it is not a sincere one. All right, so a couple more verses here, or a couple more precepts here. John 12 and 49. I started verse 20 or 44 says, Yahushua cried and said, He that believeth on me believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. As you can't even get down with what Yahushua said. You don't believe in Yahweh. You can't even follow the simple directions. Then you you ain't gonna make it, man. Verse 45, and he that sent seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me should not abide in darkness. Yeah, some guys they want to return to the darkness because they know that their deeds are evil. Because what the light exposes everything. Verse 47, if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not. For I am come not to judge the world, but to save the world. And ultimately, all Israel ain't of Israel. All right? They didn't get it back then. They ain't going to get it now. He that rejecteth me and receiveth not my words hath one that judgeth him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. So the Lord has commandment that he has to obey, of what he has to say and what to do. What did he come down here to do? Well, it was the will of the Father. That's what he kept telling everybody. This is the will of the Father. I come not, know ye not that I'm about my Father's business? Imagine if he would have violated that commandment from the Lord. Well, this is what not the majority, but there's a lot of men out here violating the commandments that the Lord gave us, because he passed it on to us, the word, all right, and what to do. Verse 50, and I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. So that's what same thing that's been passed down to us. Even as Yahushua spoke, now we speak. And if you're violating that commandment or the law of faith, right? Then you're a worker of iniquity at the end of the day, and you're gonna be cast out. You're gonna be left out there in the rain, all right? And they calling upon the names of the Lord ain't gonna do nothing for you. But Lord's will, this is edifying. Just keep an eye out. What is that? Remove yourself from these men. All right. Anyway, I think it's forgot how it goes, but you have to scopeo, mark them that cause division. They come in here and teach for envy and strife. Those guys ain't gonna make it, man. They're gonna be these guys, workers of iniquity that we were reading about. All right, and you don't want to be caught up amongst that. So Lord's will, this is edifying. We give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who rule well, and salutation, much love, Yakim out there. Shalom.